All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the January 30th, 2020 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you all please join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my right is our Vice President, Gary Merrill, and our County Administrator, Mike Fromer. To my left is our fellow Commissioner, Barb Lewis, and our clerk today is Sarah DeNova. We can begin.
Resolution number 20-104, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held January 27, 2020.
So move.
Second. Discussion? Oops, I didn't second. I can't second it. Sorry. But, Commissioner Lewis seconded it.
Okay.
And then we'll have any discussion, and we'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 20-104. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public comment this morning. So that brings us to item number 3 with the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission presentation.
Okay, I'd like to welcome Theo Walsh from the WRPC organization. Welcome back to Delaware County.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to come visit you up here. And thank you, Jennifer. She made some copies for me, so we didn't have to worry about projection. But if you need an extra copy, I can always email out a version of my presentation. So I'm Theo Walsh. I'm the Transportation and Infrastructure Development Director with the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission. And at the commission, we work with a 15-county area, which I know the commissioners know, around Central Ohio on a number of things: transportation-related, planning-related, data and mapping, residential services for folks who need home help with their heating and cooling, government affairs, and communications and engagement. So we kind of a good mix of all kinds of services that help add to things that are going on in your community. And so I feel like the most important thing we do is transportation, but I'm a little biased. I'm here today to talk about the Metropolitan Transportation Plan, which is a at least 20-year plan, and we're actually looking at a 30-year window that we have to update every 4 years for the region. It is one of 2 main documents we do in order to get our federal funds coming to the region. The other one is known as the Transportation Improvement Program, and it's a 4-year, actually, capital outlay of money that's going to be spent. And we do receive about $40 million every year to spend in Central Ohio. So the Long-Range Metropolitan Transportation Plan, what I'm coming to talk about today, is kind of the feeder document into those capital projects for the future. The idea is that we think about our long-range needs, get those into the pipeline, and then line them up for funding in the Transportation Improvement Program for the future. Some important things to know about this document, besides it's updated every 4 years, is that it does have to be fiscally constrained. So we have to look at past precedent of federal funding that comes to the region, the potential of, for instance, levies. I know with CODA that's a factor, and other just general revenue of the region local governments to match the federal funds that would come in. So although it seems like a really big wish list for the next 30 years, in fact, it does have to be constrained to what we financially foresee we could actually afford during that time. The Metropolitan Transportation Planning area is an area that includes Franklin, Delaware, a small portion of Union, Jerome Township, a small portion of Licking County, and a small portion of Fairfield County. It is kind of an obscure outline of the 2 main counties and a couple other pieces. The reason why is that's where a majority of the folks in Central Ohio actually live, and you have to, based on the census boundary we look at every 10 years, that's where we have to focus those dollars. So some important things to note about this current update is there are changing demographics. We've done a lot of work in Insight 2050, which is actually something we did to determine where we think the region's going to be by the year 2050. And although we looked at transportation, we didn't look specifically at the projects that would come out, but more about our growth patterns and where people will live and how they will live. And so there's changing demographics. We see changing in preference, and also the ability for access for more people. With a growing older population means maybe people who can't drive, and making sure we have the appropriate services for all the right people, and then the demands of the changing system overall. So a little bit about those population projections. Right now, the region in 2018 was almost 2 million. We're actually up over 2 million now. And in the 7-county area, not just the 15, we see by the year 2050, it'll be up another 622,000. But our big talking point around this is that we will be to 3 million in this region by the year 2050. So I think that's, rather than splitting hairs, it's just that we're growing by an immense amount more of people. And I think what we liken that to is the time from 1980 to 2000, the growth that was really seen, I would say, to southern Delaware County to some degree, also all the way through Franklin County. There was a lot of growth during that time. And just imagine that many more people coming in and trying to figure out where they're going to live, where they're going to work, and how they're going to get around. So, and that means we're going to have at least 244,000 more households and 290,000 more jobs. So there's quite a bit more movement going on, and trying to fit all those people onto the system is just going to be so much fun. So we do foresee that, and market preferences showing smaller homes, that doesn't mean we don't have a market for larger homes. It just means that there will need to be more compact living opportunities, as well as the things we've already established, and maybe even a few more of the more suburban style too. A good mix is what's important, so that somebody can find a place in Central Ohio, no matter where they want to live. Walkable, so bike trails, and ensuring that we're installing sidewalks and things like that along our projects is important. Amenities, more mobility options, and green space. And I like to put these three in a category, thinking about the fact that this next group of folks who are getting into the job market, and we're already hearing a little bit of this when I go out and talk, is that there's a lot of people who actually don't go into the office every day, more and more of them. And they can live where they want to live, and why not have them choose here? They can still, if we have good direct flight service out of Columbus, and we continue to add better regional transportation options, that means that people can want to live here and be a part of their family, or choose to live here because of the amenities that are here in Central Ohio. So all this is based on a number of things that lead up to the plan, and I know the commissioners have been part of our meetings where we talk about these things as they build. Goals such as reducing per capita energy consumption, protecting natural resources, positioning Central Ohio for economic attraction and retaining jobs, creating sustainable neighborhoods, increasing regional collaboration, and using our public investment for the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens in Central Ohio. The process is that we do take into account local plans, so Delaware County planning, regional planning, the data that comes from this area from the census, public roadway usage data that we're receiving on a regular basis through ODOT, comments from citizens in all areas of the region, and those kind of go into those goals and objectives that have been agreed upon by the board. And then we, based on that, develop an evaluation criteria that also looks at how much money is going to be available during that 30-year window. And then do an impact analysis, like, so if we do this road widening, how many more people are going to be impacted by spending these dollars here as opposed to this one little street over here? So there's a lot of kind of weighing of I guess, the use of dollars. And then in the end, we come up with strategies on how, what we do first, right? What do we prioritize first over another? And then document all that and wrap it up with a bow, send it off to ODOT and Federal Highway, July 1st, 2020. So a little breakdown on where citizens do give us the most feedback, and that is in bike and pedestrian. Quite a bit of comments come in the bike, ped, and transit world. We do receive quite a bit of comments on intersections and new roadways and road widening and interstate. And then as you're kind of getting into the more obscure, like, my collector road out to the highway or something, we see less of those types of comments. But I don't know if there's just strong advocacy around bike ped or just a very passionate group of folks, but we certainly, I've worked in this job in a job like this for 18 years, and that just seems to be the most outspoken group in public comment for transportation projects, and we continue to listen and add those amenities as we can afford to, and also as we can alongside with the right-of-way and safely be able to do that with road projects. Some other things to consider are the strategies. Two main overall strategies is that, and I mean, this is pretty simple stuff, but it's important to state for the record, is that we're looking at managing a system that already exists. I mean, we're not building something from the ground up. So preserving what we have, ensuring that the dollars are first spent on fixing the corridors that we have and ensuring that they're safe and passable, and they're meeting the demands of the users. And then after we meet those criteria, moving on to how we can develop further on additional infrastructure that is needed. So system development on bike, pedestrian infrastructure, transit infrastructure, rail freight infrastructure, which serves industry, multimodal infrastructure connections, and of course roadway infrastructure, widenings and things like that. So all of this comes to the culmination in an opportunity for feedback, and that's really what I'm here to tell you about, is that we're reaching out to each of our members in the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Metropolitan Transportation Area to notify you that you can make public comments between February 26th and April 3rd, and we are having an open house at MORPC where all these projects that have gone through the evaluation criteria will be presented to the public. We can also share with your administration the link to where those are out on the website. Actually, I think they're going to be available this coming Monday, so you can kind of dig in if staff wants to really say, okay, was that one that we really wanted on there, and go down the list so that you're prepared for February 26th. And then getting those comments back to us by April 3rd, we'll go through them, ensure that all the projects that people want are in the plan, or we've explained why only a portion of this one, or what are the trade-offs, and getting all the right things on the list and at the right times that folks want them. And then we will take our plan to the MORPC board at the May meeting, which is always a pretty big meeting for transportation planning projects. That's when everything always kind of comes to a culmination, is the May meeting. And it has to be turned in then. It moves on to ODOT, and then by July 1st, we get feedback from the US DOT that they have approved our plan, and it goes into effect on July 1, 2020. And then we get to start the whole process over again for your update, which we won't do for another couple of years, but it takes about a year and a half to go through this process. So it's very valuable to see what the priorities are. They do change about every 4 years. Some projects, of course, will stay on the plan. Others move up as preferences change, elected leaders change. So we make sure that we capture all those preferences. If there are any comments, I've shared with you an email address where those can be shared, as well as a staff person. There's actually a couple staff people listed in the presentation that you can reach out to. Of course, I'm always available to you as well. Now that's pretty much it. Just wanted to make sure you were aware of it, and here to answer any questions.
Comments,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Commissioner Merrill?
I don't know that I have any questions. Obviously, there's a number of projects in our county that are very important to us. And so hopefully, we'll see progress on those.
Yeah,
many I feel like are not just important to you, but important to the region.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yes.
you're an important part of what's going on, and people want to come up here and live and visit, and so it's very important that we connect you to that.
Yeah, we've got this competitive advantage project that MORPC and I think 2020 actually worked together on collaboratively to prioritize projects in the region. We submitted a plan of our highest priority projects, 2017? 16? Yeah, and then we updated it recently, and that, I think, is probably our current thinking in terms of the priority of the projects. But we do have some really important big projects, you know, involving 71, the 36 corridor, 23 corridor, east-west connector, I mean, that are important to our residents, but also important to the economic development future of the county and the region. The Berlin Business Park that we're working on is going to be a huge economic engine for Delaware County and the region, but we need transportation work done to make that a reality. So anyway, we're very much aware of this, and we appreciate the update and look forward to participating in the process. I think we've heard loud and clear from our residents that trails are very important. We've done a lot of work on trails. We've got the Ohio Erie Trail almost complete through Delaware County, which has been years in the making. So again, we're very much in sync with you and intend to participate, so appreciate the update.
We truly appreciate your collaboration on these efforts, and you guys have always been a really great partner, so thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had one comment. I know that MORPC is looking for Delaware County to help with the future growth requirements of Central Ohio. That Central Ohio has a very aggressive plan to get up to 3 million people, and as Commissioner Benton said, the one thing that comes out when we look from an economic development, but also a resident development, is the commute time. Every year it goes up a little bit more to downtown Columbus. So for us to be able to support those growth initiatives, the transportation is really the key to our ability to do that. So, and to support the overall bringing the workforce here so the area can grow. So.
Yeah. We've spent a lot of time developing plans that will enable the residential growth and the business growth, whether it's economic development or facilities or sewer or our roads we control, but we don't control the transportation, the improvements that we all need. So that's why our partnership is so important to us.
We control the local ones, but we don't control the ones that
Yeah, we can.
make
Yeah.
the city an
We can,
efficient system.
we control pieces that will drive the economic development. We don't control the whole picture, and that's.
And we certainly help you influence those, or we try with ODOT, as well as I know you're, there's, like, for instance, there's a current opportunity for federal funding, and I know you're being considered for some major award opportunities for 36, 37, and you're looking at other things on I-71. I think you're right where you need to be. I mean, that's where you're spending a lot of effort around job growth, and we're here to help any way we can to ensure you can bring those funds back home.
Yeah, very good.
Benefits to us, really benefit our neighbors too. Polaris is a great example of that, the Big Walnut project that takes people out of that area who are just trying to get home, which makes it a better retail experience, which is not only good for Delaware County, it's good for Columbus because it's in the city. And so we're all in this together, and I think that's your point.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, very good. Thank you, Thea. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, commissioners. Have a wonderful day.
All right,
You too. Thank you.
okay, we'll continue.
Resolution number 20-105, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CMA PR 0129.
So move.
Second?
Discussion, vote?
Vote on motion 20-105. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-106, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion, vote?
Vote on motion 20-106. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-107, resolution of necessity for the purchase or release of motor vehicles for the use of the Delaware County Sheriff or his employees.
So move.
Second?
Discussion,
Good morning, Captain Scott Vance,
Morning.
Sheriff's Office. I know we've talked about fleet maintenance and serviceability over the years, and I've been involved in a lot of the discussions at budget time. So I'm really here just to answer any questions that you might have related to this expenditure.
I didn't really have any, I assume these are all budgeted. I don't know if Brad's here, Karen's here, you can verify these are the budgeted ones for this year. I know every year,
Yes.
we have to make investments, keep our fleet current. No doubt about it. So. Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 20-107. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Chief.
Resolution number 20-108, in the matter of accepting sanitary sewer improvements for Shelley's Retreat at Carpenter's Mill Pump Station and Shelley's Retreat at Carpenter's Mill, Section 1, Phase A.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. So this is a Pulte development located on Stites Road, just north of Rutherford Road. There's 25 units in this phase. There's also a pump station that'll serve a little bit larger area outside of just Shelley's Retreat. All of these improvements have been installed to meet our requirements, so we request your approval.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 20-108. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-109, in the matter of ranking for the best value of the 3 most qualified construction managers at risk for construction at the Alum Creek WRF clarifier upgrades for Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So this is the second phase of our project out at Alum Creek. It's going to be clarifier upgrades as well as a splitter box retrofit. This is a $4 million project that we budgeted for this year, and it's included in the financial model. And the ranking is Peterson Construction Company number 1, Shook Construction Company number 2, and then Kokosing was number 3. Peterson performed the work on our first phase and did a great job. So that's part of the reason why we're selecting them for the second phase of the work.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-109. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 20-110, in the matter of certification of delinquent accounts to the county auditor for accounts to be assessed to payable year 2021 taxes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So as you know, per resolution, we certify any delinquent accounts that exceed $25 and are past 90 days due. This quarter, we have $144,979 that's being certified, and that equates to 4.43% of our accounts. That's actually the lowest that we've had as delinquencies since April of 2018, which is great. We, last month, did a little campaign where we sent out paper bills to all of our delinquent e-billing customers, and we got $40,000 back out of the
All right.
$80,000 that was delinquent. So that was pretty good. We're going to obviously continue to do that to make sure that we can keep those delinquencies down.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 20-110. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That brings us to administrative reports.
Good morning, Commissioners. Today, or tomorrow, I think, is one of those bittersweet days for our EMS department. It's where you have happiness on one side and sadness on another. You know, I've mentioned several times that our EMS department's like a family. They actually, some of them live together at stations, and so they have a very tight connection. And one of their very key members is going to be retiring tomorrow. So she will be happy to not have to come in here every day, but I'm sure miss a lot of the folks that she has become family with. So I would ask Jeff, Director Fischel, to come to the podium and talk a little bit more about this. So.
I'm not the only one talking. Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. The year was 1999. BC, remember? BC, yeah. The month was May, and it was a Monday. May 17th, 1999. It was a warm spring day. No clouds in the sky, and no rain in the forecast. Yeah, I did. Bill Clinton was president. 65 cents in today's money would have been worth $1 back then. If you would have saved $1 up until today's date, you'd have $5,735. And the #1 song on the Billboard chart for that day was Ricky Martin's Livin' La Vida Loca. Coincidentally, it was also the very first day of Sheila Perrin's career at Delaware County. She showed up under the direction of Larry Fisher. She also worked under EMS chiefs in Pearline Howard, Rob Farmer, Mike Schuling, and now me. When I arrived, Sheila introduced herself to me as Elmer. I personally thought that was the weirdest name I'd ever heard. I soon learned that she has many nicknames, but I'm going to let Patrick cover those. Nonetheless, I wasn't judging on her name, and she quickly informed me she was kidding and that her name was Sheila. But the name Elmer, as in Elmer's glue, that was a name that was given to her because Sheila was regarded as the glue that held the EMS department together. Sheila is a Swiss Army knife of EMS, the do-it-all, and the go-to. Sheila has been a blessing to me in my onboarding at Delaware County EMS. Her knowledge of the system, the county, and the day-to-day operations has proved invaluable, and I deeply appreciate her welcoming me into the county and passing on her wisdom and tips and tricks she has amassed over the years. I've only known Sheila for 7 months, feels like a lifetime, but I will truly miss her. And things will not be the same around here. We will miss Sheila's lively spirit, her humor, and her daily sign-off as she left for the day. I won't say what you usually say, but there's one she says quite often as well. Her daily sign-off for the day is, "See you, friend." Sheila, you are a great friend, and you have been an outstanding employee to the county for 20 years. Please come and visit often, and most of all, enjoy the most well-deserved retirement. I think Chief Burgess would like to say some things.
Morning, Commissioners. Eric Burgess, Assistant Chief EMS. So one of the best pieces of advice I got when I came in the office 8 years ago was to make sure that you cut Sheila a wide swath on payroll Monday. And I had to learn that the hard way a couple times, but I think that's still, and Linda got a little taste of that this Monday, so I'll probably have to cut her a wide swath too. But anyways, Sheila, thanks for everything you've done for our department. You certainly keep things together, keep us in line, and enjoy your retirement, and we'll certainly take care of the water levels for you and hit them straight, okay? Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jen Cochran, Assistant Chief, Delaware County EMS. Sheila. Sheila is my work mom.
No, we get a little closer than that.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
I'm shorter. Sheila is my work mom. She definitely keeps me in line. She keeps the department in line. We're very lucky to have her. In fact, when we need to know something, it's not, most people yell mom, right? It's Sheila. Sheila, I need help with this. Or? That's what you do. Yeah, the nicknames come next. So thank you, Sheila, for keeping us together. We love you, and we're going to miss you.
She want to talk first, since she's so excited.
Well, I was going to tell my nicknames.
I think she goes last. Morning, Commissioners. Patrick Brandt, 911 Director. So I've worked with Sheila since her beginning here. It's been a very exciting time of my areas of working in the data center from even working for 911. Sheila's been here for all of us. She's been there to be mentor to all of us, to help us all out. She's taking care of our minutes, our notes, our paperwork, and everything else from our bills to our invoices. She loved the fact that I split our funds into 2 accounts last year, so now she beats me every time when she tries to find out, "You don't have a PO open." Yes, I do. It's in the other fund account. So she's always good to look at that and always have fun. She is my Royd. I call her that daily. Royd, hey, we need something. She's always there and always stuck to you. So she's always been noticed that. Hey, Royd. So we always, and we always sign off with, "See ya, Royd." So she's always been there, and she's always been there to help us. So we appreciate everything she's done for 911. She's always been there for the staff and anything we've ever needed. So we really appreciate you, and welcome your retirement and play more golf. Commissioner Benton might be able to help you out on some of that. You might be able to find him on a course. Y'all of you ask him that one. But congratulations.
Thank you. Is it my turn?
Yes.
I don't have anything planned to say. I was just going to tell you a few funny little statistics that weren't in the newsletter. But first of all, I do want to thank you very much. Delaware County has been a wonderful place to work. You've
It's been wonderful for my family. My daughter worked over at JFS for a while before she put herself through nursing school. So in 21 years, I've only had one speeding ticket. I've only hit one deer. And I was here in May of '99. So on December 31st of '99, we had the famous Y2K. And they told me I had to come into work that night. And right there where that archway is was a hallway back there. And there were card tables set up, and we played cards and got paid for it. And I thought, I have come to work for a wonderful place. And it was the best New Year's Eve of my entire life. So, and I was also here for 9/11, which was a horrible day for the county. One that I will always remember because we spent the day down in the EOC. And it was just, you know, everyone knows what that day was like. But anyway, so my nicknames that everyone has made up for me, even though my name is Sheila, I'm never called Sheila, but I am called Smelly Cat, Shelley, Smell Bell. Jim Ward, Commissioner Jim Ward, called me Shirley. He never got my name right. And of course, I am called Royd, and now my new boss calls me Shaquila, which I don't know if I'm related to Shaquille O'Neal or what the deal is, but anyway. We do have a lot of fun. It's always been a joy to come to work. I've enjoyed it. But I am tired, and as you all knew, that if I was reelected as the Township Fiscal Officer, I was going to retire. So I will be spending 100% of my time serving the residents and voters of Marion Township, which I should. So, and I want to say that Linda O'Rourke will do a great job. She is going to just exceed in the department and its growth, and I feel very comfortable leaving everything in her hands. So thank you again, and I'm not going to cry.
We have I think
Proclamation.
Yes, yes, we do have a proclamation. So,
tomorrow is Sheila Parent Day, right? Forever?
great. I will just read it. It's short. Be it hereby known to all that Jeff Benton, Barb Lewis, and Gary Merrill, Commissioners of Delaware County, extend sincere congratulations to Sheila Perrin on the occasion of her retirement after more than 20 years of service with Delaware County. Signed, the three of us, presented this 30th day of January by order of the Commissioners. So thank you all. So we could have comments. I don't know if anybody else has comments. Jane, did we want to take a picture?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe I
Commissioner Merrill?
comments first? or-
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to make a couple of comments. I'd just like to say you always have a wonderful smile on your face. You're always very quick to say hi, and sometimes I get kind of my own zone, and I'm probably not always attentive to that, but you hear a lot about people from other people, and you really get to know who they are. And you're loved, you're liked. Now, the three people left, I believe, because they probably had a run to go to, and not because they didn't want to support you. So, but that just goes to show you that you were worked in an area where there was surprises and things didn't always go according to schedule, but you and everyone else represented here are there to make it work and make it work well. And thank you a lot. Now, did you win or lose those card games that night?
Well, I don't quite remember, but it was euchre, I think, but it was just so much fun that night. I'm sure Steve Lewis and Patrick were here because they were doing the data stuff, so. And then midnight came, and
Nothing happened.
Right.
You say you're leaving the department in Lynn's good hands. I didn't speak well of everybody else in the department. I assume they have a role to play as well, but
I will miss each and every one.
so,
They are like my family.
God bless you and take care.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sheila, for your dedication and your service and just being the fun person that you are. I always enjoyed it when Sheila would come up to visit. And you never know what she was going to say. and so that was fun, too, because we had some good laughs. And you're just a joy to be with. And your township is very fortunate to have you as their fiscal officer. And the violets are in my care that you took such good care of. So I know, I think, yeah, you'll be visiting, right?
Has he died?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that big poinsettia that
Yeah.
we should have been watering. I should have been watering. But thank you, Sheila. But do visit.
Oh, I will be back.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you as well. It's been a lot of fun, and we've had a lot of... Okay. We'll get that set up. I'm scared to play with you. Beat me. So anyway, thank you. And, you know, the 21 years ago, you know, versus where the department was 21 years ago versus where it is today. I mean, you've been a big part of the progress and the outstanding department that this has become. So I want to thank you for your outstanding contribution to that. And I will miss our golf talks. I mean, you are the one who really understands the passion of the game. The others kind of humor me and just kind of go along with who won the Masters, and I don't know. But you really understand it. You get it, that golf is much more than a game. It's a way of life. So, but I will miss those conversations. But so anyway, we will take a picture. Jane, do you want to do it out in the lobby? Or out here? Okay.
Just push that forward.
Or are we going to get everybody in the group?
Yeah, we'll get it. I think
Small one here and then group out there.
Small group.
Oh, okay.
Person taking a picture?
Oh, you want to? Okay. Let me get this. Okay, and then we'll get the gang out in the lobby.
Rain today?
I don't know. Looks like it
We
might
have
be.
that viewing at 1:30 and
I don't know if it is or not. It's been
It's kind of cloudy out there, as I was asking.
such a mild one.
Do we want to commence with,
That kind of cleared the room. The celebration of Sheila.
Doesn't show any.
Did you like how the paramedics walked out real calmly and then they,
Yeah.
I like that, that was nice.
And then the siren starts out in front there. All right, we'll continue.
we have commissioner reports if Mike is finished.
I'm finished.
They're done?
Commissioner Lewis.
I don't have anything.
Commissioner Merrill.
Just two real quick things. Regional planning's tonight, and I will be there. And just a comment. We've talked a lot about purchasing over the last couple of years, and I know that a contract just been signed regarding our copiers, and I think that's a good first step. And I think we've already seen some good results from that, and there's going to be more coming. And I just want to compliment the buy-in that we've gotten from all the other departments, elected officials, because it only works if we all work together, and the taxpayers will be the ultimate beneficiaries, so.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, like you said, more to come.
Right.
This is a good first step, and the cooperation's great, and savings will be significant, but there's more we can do, so it's great to see. I just have one other thing. I think SEPCO board meeting is tomorrow morning. I'll be going to that and following up or seeing what's going on for 2020 in SEPCO, but aside from that, I think that's it. We have a need for executive
We
session.
do. Resolution number 20-111, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment, compensation of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 20-111. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. All right, we're in executive session.
Did you get back to Rick?
It's quick.
Resolution number 20-112, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 20-112. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. We are adjourned out of executive session. Oh, wait, we're going to go into recess until the viewing at 1 o'clock at Villas at Maple Grove.
Yes.
Okay, we're in recess.
All right. Okay.